I believe Brexit is a disaster for this country, for its influence, for its position in the world, and for its economic prospects. But we had the referendum, and it looked as though that might be the final decision. But in practice, it hasn't worked out that way. And there's now a very divided House of Commons, which could lead to a return to a second referendum. I think that probably is the most sensible way. I was very keen on the decision she made to put the Brexiteers in charge of the negotiations. I mean, Boris Johnson, David Davis and Liam Fox are all Brexiteers. They've been in charge, and let's be frank, they've screwed it up. And so Theresa May did what every Prime Minister in the circumstances would have done, which is to put the civil servants in to try and undo the damage, which they haven't succeeded in doing. But it's very important to remember that for 18 months, the negotiations were in the hands of people who passionately believed in the Brexit concept. I think the answer to the question, why do I feel responsible, is answered by my longevity. I was there in the Second World War. I lived through the formulation of the European movement and its purposes, and Britain's initial rejection and ultimate accession. So I've been part of it all. I met the people, played a role, voted. I know what it was all about, and I can see the benefits of it, and I can see the poverty of the alternatives to it. So if I don't speak, who should? Who will? Well, I don't believe there's going to be a no-deal Brexit. I don't think the House of Commons will allow that to happen. But look, the world will go on. The sun will come up. Britain is not going to disappear under the English Channel. It's just we'll be less important, less prosperous outside the European Union than inside it. And it's that concept that we should volunteer to make ourselves less important on a world stage. That we should deprive a young generation of the opportunities that my generation have had to play a role within the continent of Europe. I find that all quite unacceptable, but life will go on. We'll still be here. Oh, I know what they'll remember. They'll remember my trees. They won't remember me. Who can remember the 19th century politicians? A handful of prime ministers, maybe. But my trees, they'll remember them. And some will say, who planted these?